bands. So let's take a look at those and see where we'll be going today. We got 2 consulates. We got Villa.
Won't be a third consulate at least. And definitely not theme park. Wow, the Black Dragons really doesn't want to go there.
And oh no, please no Villa again. Please no Villa again. I mean, yes, it's the best map ever. It will be.
Oh, it will be. Okay, well, then again, the operator bans will make a difference here a lot.
So Thatcher, Maverick, Mira, Echo, right? That's what's going to happen?
Probably, unfortunately. I would love to see Maverick just left here, but... Because this is the thing is, like, in the current Thatcher ban meta, like, technically the alternative is to bring Cali, but obviously you'd rather see Maverick, just because Maverick overall, he only just got stronger as an operator with the addition of grenades now, so you definitely like to see him played. It is, I know you tout him a lot, but I think he is a fantastic operator as well, and I would love to see him used here, because there are ways to play against him somewhat on here. You can throw a C4 over the top of the wall and stuff like that. You can even peek out if they're not covering well. So there's ways to play against him on Aviator at least. So it's not that bad. I mean, you could leave him in.
So let's take a look at what everybody thinks watching from home. INTZ and Black Dragons. A lot of fans on both sides, but BD definitely have the pedigree in the region for Latin America. And of course, you can vote. Ooh, INTZ 51.
Highest drop percentage I think we've had today, though.
Yeah. I mean, for everybody that is wondering, how do I vote on these matches and let people know what my opinion is, because we all have an opinion, make sure you go and check out our social media, twitter.com/ESL Rainbow 6, and vote on your favorite to win the matchup. But also at the end of each matchup, we have 4 names that are picked out, and you can choose your MVP of the match. We have a highlighted player, but it's not always that player that gets the MVP vote, because it's just we highlight them based off of pure statistics and nothing more. So there it is. There's your information. We'll be heading into game in any moment now here to start it off. But INTZ Black Dragons, it definitely feels that it should be more of an INTZ game. It's Villa again, though, and as you said, that those operator bans are going to be so important. We know that, if I'm not mistaken, but INTZ are starting on the attacking side, right? So if you're really target banned the right operators, it can really slow things down.
Yeah, they're definitely going to need to make sure that if they do ban Maverick, or even Habana or Thermite, that they really know what they're doing, being an attack first. So, I mean, they could always just, they will get to ban first. They could just be like, okay, we're not going to ban Thatcher at all, and then force that to be on.
LATAM? Are you serious?
I mean, they could. It's a possibility, right? I would love to see it. Obviously, it's very unlikely to happen, just given how things are these days, but I would love to see it. I know you would as well. Villa especially is one of those ones that's like, it definitely a bit crazier when it comes to no Thatcher available, just because Electric Claws especially have been really strong because Maverick is great at countering the mute jammers and the bandit batteries. But a lot of teams have also figured out they can just nade those a lot of times, so it doesn't necessarily even have to come down to Thatcher. But Kaid is definitely the one that makes it still like, okay, well then we have trouble dealing with these. I think there are ways to cook grenades over it. It's more the Kaid tricking they have to worry about, but I think there are more ways to counter it than just bringing Kylie or Maverick. So I would hope to see those more instead of teams just giving up on opening the walls. We did at least see a little more focus on opening the walls, whether it be from Harbana or Thermite last match. So that was a positive development, because that's what you want to see, is at least teams trying to get those angles opened up instead of just let's rush through the doorway and hope we win all our gunfights like Liquid used to like to do. So hopefully that's not what we see today. Both these teams have played this map once. INTZ lost it to Ninjas in Pajamas, as I mentioned previously. And then Black Dragons, I forget who was up against, but they did tie it in the previous match here. So they have a pretty good Villa. Again, operator bans may affect that, and there are new operators available now with Lumai now available, as he was not during the first half. So that will mostly just affect, I guess, well, now that I think about it, both these teams actually played it during the second half. So they were both with Lumai available. So yeah, because we are just waiting on, I think, 2 more players from Black Dragons here. Hopefully we'll get back in here. Oh, we got 1. Okay. Halfway there.
I mean, it's going to take a while. We can't really do much against this. The admins have to call it out. And for those that don't know, if you take too long to get into the lobby, you start compiling, penalty points, and that makes you lose cash at the end of the day. So you got to be careful on how you play around with that. And we don't want to waste anybody's time for it.
No, definitely not. Of course, hopefully no technical issues getting in as well. We have occasionally had the technical issue too on like one random player at the end of the day, which does tend to hold everything up. Obviously, we don't just start at 4v5 and be like, he'll join mid-match. We do have to wait for all the players to get in. We've been thankful to have no rehosts so far, so we'll hope.
We actually need all the players.
I don't know. We'll see. I guess it depends on how the match actually goes, whether or not it ends up being a lot of 4v5s. But we're just waiting on that one player. So hopefully he'll be able to get in soon. It is someone that is certainly not new to playing this game competitively, so hopefully we'll be able to get this sorted out. But this will be, I think, a fairly balanced match between these two. INTZ, arguably the stronger team, but at the same time, this is a map that Black Dragons are a little bit better at. Although, to be fair, their tie actually was against Team 1. And we'll see. Once we get this guy in. I wish we could just shove him to his computer and make sure he's there.
Okay. So they seem to be logging in right now.
Yeah, so just be a moment.
Just all on wire, so which is always a good thing. Anti-cheat system. But Devin, it's pretty crazy that once this playdate is over, we'll still have 2 more playdays for every region, and then it's done. That's it.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. Obviously, there'll still be the game. It'll just be split into different regions, which will all be run a little bit differently, I think. So that'll be interesting. Hopefully, everything will get sorted out and figured out for an announcement at some point. But I imagine the whole pandemic going around is probably slowing that down even more. So
definitely,
you can only imagine that's going to have some kind of impact.
Well, I'm going to go and work on the Russian Major League. I think that can already say that.
Definitely.
Professional.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, though, just to make sure you guys get a chance to get up, go get a drink of water or something before we get this last guy in. And we'll see you soon. Hopefully we're ready to game.
Yep. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro League podcast. It's myself, Hassan Milosh Finj, and Devin Emzo Becker, and we're still waiting for that one player to connect. You know who you are? So we're just going to be sitting here staring at you in a very awkward manner as we have nothing to talk about. Devin has requested that I fill for the next 10 minutes, so I'm going to talk about random stuff, and you'll hear more of Emzo casting during the match because it's kind of a 50-50 and you have to work with this together. So, Devin, you can take a nap. I hope you have something to kind of rest on in the meantime, but I'm gonna start talking about random stuff today. First of all, order of business. I know chat is delayed, but I want to hear definitely how people have been spending their time, having fun at home during these difficult moments that we're all living. I know it's a bit complicated, but I'm sure there's many ways for us to stay entertained and stay very much active during the day, right? Just all remember, during difficult times, what was the first thing we all turned to? Media.
Pro League.
Media. I mean, honestly, just media, creators, artists, very important to keep the morale up. People really tend to not give them enough credit. And my parents certainly have learned a very good lesson about that, because they're definitely ones that didn't believe in entertainment as a career. But here they are actually watching Pro League, and they've been talking to me about it, Devin. I don't know, if it was a problem for you or for other people that are casting around Siege or other esports, but man, until this invitational and now this quarantine, my parents pretty much never watched me casting a live show, and now they're telling me like, yeah, we're watching you casting EU, and it seemed to be pretty fun. It looked like a pretty difficult job and people were having fun. I'm like, wow, never expected that. I've been casting since 2012 and there it is finally.
Well, at least they don't criticize your clubhouse.
Okay, I don't think they understand who Maverick is, so they assume I'm right.
Yeah, there we go. That works. I mean, I think they're definitely like friends and family are slowly going to get more into esports because of this whole situation.
Yeah.
A lot more of it being watched. I think it's good, right? Like, obviously, this is a format of sports that does bode well to be able to play during these kinds of situations, as opposed to, if it was a physical sport, obviously that doesn't work so well. So, hey, all the more reason to watch all of this stuff, catch up on VODs you might have missed because, people aren't awake 24/7 to watch everything.
Yeah, and even we aren't. I mean, I try, but I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of games that are out of region for me, out of time zone, and I have to watch them the next day. Like today I was reviewing some NA VODs just to be able to catch up. So we're waiting until we get more updates, by the way, from the admins. It's not like we're just rambling on for no reason. There's a reason behind it.
Yeah, we have to wait till a certain point before it becomes a forfeit or something like that. So
yeah,
we will wait. Hopefully it doesn't become that, especially when it's just one player.
Of course, Devin, though, that one player will connect at the last second, and
he will, of course.
And it's gonna be a 6-6.
So T-minus about 4 minutes still till he connects randomly.
Okay, I still have some stuff to fill.
I'm wagging my finger at him.
Wow, Devin. Okay, well, I'm gonna continue talking about some random stuff. I wonder, have you been trying to take up some new hobbies in cooking and stuff at home? Because I've been working on this with my partner, and we've been kind of learning how to make pizza at home. I never baked anything before, and trying to make pizza with the dough and everything from scratch, very interesting, because we're not just using normal flour, but going with gluten-free flour, and it's very interesting the way that it interacts with the water and how you put it to kind of raise overnight. We're both intolerant, so it makes sense in that respect.
You do come across as a very intolerant person.
Me? Very, very intolerable, but intolerant, no. Those are two different things, Devin.
I don't know what you got against gluten, but you need to drop it. You two need to make peace.
It's not gonna happen. It's gonna keep messing up with my body, and that's not good. But yeah, so that's what I've been taking up here. We're playing some Siege, playing some strategy stuff, playing some Watch Dogs since we're Ubisoft stream.
Yeah, I would like to know when that's going to be released. I think it's past
Legion,
the original and announced release date, but I'm a big Watch Dogs fan, so I'm looking forward to that.
Watch Dogs 2, actually. I mean, you're from the region, you've been to the Bay Area and lived in there for a while, so right, you have an idea of how San Francisco is and the region around it. So for me, playing Watch Dogs 2 is super fun. So I like it. It's definitely exactly how it is as a Haxor, as they call it.
Oh yes, exactly. No, it's definitely a good game, and I hope the next one. I hope the extra time spent definitely pays off. So I'm looking forward to that. I think it's going to be a fun game, and hopefully the Watch Dogs 2 still has some life in multiplayer for the moment.
Oh, it's super fun. Just going for those hacking missions and just raiding random people. It's so cool. I like that. It's like
go ahead.
You're playing and then randomly some people just try to hack you, and I turn around and I see that there's someone snickering behind me as I'm playing, and it seems like there was someone in this apartment here that was trying to snipe me as I'm also playing, and I'm like, well, it looks like my SO is trying to snipe me as I'm playing. That's great. It's
always good.
It's just the snickering, like I gotcha.
I hope you have a passcode on your phone.
Not in Watch Dogs, but
okay. Well, we may or may not have a coach here. I'm not entirely sure. Unfortunately, they're all talking in Portuguese as well. But we may or may not have a coach stand in. I think we've threatened that many times now, and every time the player seems to join at the very last second, or they get a sub otherwise. But there we go. Of course, as we say that, as time runs out here, he has managed to connect. So if everyone's ready, we will get jumping into game as soon as everyone confirms.
So that's one part of the prophecy that has come true. I'll look forward to the 6-6 at the end of the day.
If only we just set the time shorter before we would forfeit them, they'd get it much sooner. We'll see. Obviously, that's on the admins, though. That's their decision and whatnot. But luckily, we have... Oh, right as we start game, I see a player drop, so we may need to rehost, unfortunately. But at least it's not the same player. So there is that, I guess. We'll see here. We did launch into game.
Such a positive human being.
We'll see if he actually manages to reconnect. I'm not sure if they're going to wait for reconnect during the op ban phase.
You know what I really like is that there's people that you introduce the part of the show where you're saying, hey, we're trying to delay because we literally have nothing to talk about as we're trying to get into this match and waiting for a player to get in. And there's always the 3 dudes in chat that are like, oh my god, can we already start the game? Come on, man, stop delaying the game. It's all the casters. We just talk,
Yeah. We'd be fine if we only talked at the end of a match when, everyone was just getting ready for the next one. So, obviously, we're happy to get into game and have some talk about it as soon as possible. But it's just going to take a second. I think I saw them actually talking about rehosting it after the ban phase. Which, if it's the case, then they will manually put in the bans that are being done. It might have just been the spectator disconnecting. But I'm going to keep an eye on
all the bans.
They hadn't done any yet when the spectator at least left. So I'm not entirely sure. Keep an eye on it and see if they happen to do the bans before rehosting or not. If they do, then they'll manually put them in, and that will save a little bit of time on the rehost. But not really necessarily, because of course they will be spending the time now doing that. So we're just waiting on it all to happen again here. The magic of the internet. Unfortunately, you guys can't see it, so kind of trying to relay what's going on as much as possible, as we still get to see the quote-unquote game while we're waiting for it to happen. Players are at least getting into the new lobby, so that's a good start. It's just waiting to see about the bans or not. Just looking for word on that here. I believe we are going to be doing the bans then. Again, okay. So we'll be doing those live then. I think it's just getting them in faster. I think they all left that game so they could get into this one quicker, and we're down to 8 out of 10. 9 out of 10. And hopefully everyone ready to just jump in immediately as soon as that 10th player gets in. Just confirming at least 5 of the players are ready. I feel like we're basically shoutcasting the lobby right now.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. We got all 10 players in. So maybe that means we'll get a game today.
Hopefully it's the last one, so We've had a almost trouble-free first 3, so, you know, we have to make up for that, of course, now.
Exactly.
We did get into launch, so we're going to get into the bands again soon here.
So let's go for our operator bands. Guess what? Thatcher, Maverick, Mira, and Echo. Come on. Show me the money. You know you want it.
Basically automatic at this point. You never know. I would love for them to surprise us here.
Would you now? I would like to
Yeah.
not ban Maverick. That took
Yeah.
a long time to ban a Thatcher.
It begins. Yeah, right?
There it is.
Oh, boy.
Honestly.
Why? It's like they're trying to develop like a new kind of meta, but it's not very consistent or good for the attackers.
There we go. Give me the Mira. Or they're going to ban like something completely random in the end. But I'm going to stick with the Mira.
I think this is very likely. It does mean the Capitao can get played, though. We did see a little bit of that last match. Probably could have seen a bit more of it as well. I think it was somewhat useful. So
Honestly,
I would like to see a little more play of that.
Just hire me as a full-time caster.
I don't know why they even bothered to do the bans.
Just honestly.
Might as well just put those in the lobby settings. We'll see how it shakes down, though. We saw a little bit of variety, despite the bans last time. Some adaptation. The Kaid probably should just be brought straight out, though. Like, just bring him the first round. Don't wait till later to figure that out. I gotta wonder, though, if Drunks is really gonna stick on that pick. Oh, there we go. Could we see a shield versus shield?
Oh boy.
That's always fun.
Not again.
Not like this. No, both of them 6 picked off of.
Oh my god.
The game of chicken.
You only bring a Habana for this.
Attackers need to
All right. The Kaid, though, they're hoping the Kaid wouldn't be 6 picked too. Because that is the operator he's best at countering is Habana. So
Yeah, you're running double nitro, and Hugsword is actually going for impact grenade, so you can tell it's done for impact tricks, and so Lagonis can play with his electro claw correctly. So makes sense setup wise from Black Dragons to have the right tools for all of this. Double TCSG as far as I can tell. So yeah, you've got it all. It's just, are you gonna run, because you don't have double shield, but are you gonna put that one shield that WOG has on the smoke at the top of the main stairs, or what's it gonna be like? That's my question.
yeah, the top of stairs defense is always really good for slowing down any kind of push into study, which is always going to be an entry point. Even if they push from bedroom as well, they're going to want to get people in study. So being able to fight that always helps. We will potentially see a bit of roam, at least over on the side master bedroom. We see also the Jaeger downstairs for the moment, possibly to support play in astronomy from covering the stairs. A little bit of softball being played by Hugzord as well on that trophy wall. Or the statuary wall, I guess. Yeah, so some decently spread out defense on the other side, but it looks like they probably will go for the usual bottom clear along with quite possibly a study take. Maybe not so much the master bedroom, so we may see a lot of late rotate of some of these defenders as they realize, you know, if trophy statuary area is not being pushed.
So this grenade here is going off of, oh my god. Oh my god. Lagonis just got deleted, yeeted out of the server. Alamau going for the blind grenade and then instantly switching off. Good lord. They know there's another play inside of the living room.
Yep. They do. They I think are out of nades now though. To get him. We'll see. Oh, the peak right to his demise. Peak so far not really working out for the defense so well.
2 great kills, and it's all from below. Again, verticality, man. It's like some very intelligent person said it in the past, and you know, even heard it last night between Kickson and Taro. They were talking about it. Someone called Mizo, or whatever it was, says that holes work both ways, and yeah, they're right, man.
They definitely do, and that's why, of course, if they're going to create some, you make sure they create them in your favor, and attackers definitely taking advantage of that really so far. It's not working out for the defenders. They at least still have utility to hold the site itself, but losing 2 of their players already, and at least 1 electric claw placed, if not both. But it means they can't do any kind of tricking. So once those electric claws are taken care of, they will be spotted by the IQ as well. But it looks like they're going for the old 90 push, they're able to get control of Classical Hallway. Now they're going to cover Gun Vault. They're going to open up the wall onto the bar itself. And they should be able to take Games Room here. Oh, nope. There we go. Good pushback by PZD. Coverage just faltering a little bit, and that was enough for an opening for him.
So did you open up the wall? That's the big question. You should have some pressure. And yes, indeed, the Habana had those double sets of Excairos, but you're going to get one more, the smoke running out, and there's the kill confirmation from Vitz going in for the reload, 3v2 advantage. And there's the peek from PZD, but Huxor is on the floor. He's down, but he's taken one out with him. And from behind, PZD is going to swing wide and get a kill. It turns it in 1v1, and Drunks has to go for the rotation. Huxor is being picked up as we speak. And the Habana, he's got under 10 seconds. You going for the plant? Yes, that's the play. No Nectar Cell to be used as Huxor running the impacts, and it's potential W. Habana's around the corner, going in for the gunfight. Habana wins one. Drunks, he knows what's up. He can watch for the rotations. He needs some information, though, from his teammates. He'll swing around the corner and Drunks will clutch it. I cannot believe that they actually did it.
Really, I mean, that should have been an INTZ round with how well their attack was going to start with. I mean, getting those 2 early kills, getting walls open, one of the kills being on the Kaed. They had a good start to that round, but they lost way too many players. Part of it was just due to timing in terms of the way they, for example, the IQ peeked away from the gun vault to check Classical. It just, timing really not working right there. But man, great play from Drunks at the end. Obviously made the right choice with that 6th pick. But that definitely could have gone either way. I like that he just did not hesitate on the kill on Goyo. He saw him, went to go back around the bar, but immediately started firing and then just caught him as he was going back on that. So perfectly done. And of course, that bar, as you mentioned earlier, indestructible. So it does force that rotation there. That's what he was able to take advantage. I got to imagine Huxor was out. He didn't have a C4 left to be able to play that, unfortunately.
I can't believe INTZ won that round.
That's right.
Dude. I hope people understand how much of a throw it was for INTZ, first of all, to lose their huge advantage, and then in that 1v2, man, that should have never happened. I'd like 100%. That had Valkyrie saving the round, appropriately named at the right moment. But man, I'm just trying to knock myself out of it. And Black Dragons certainly have to be really poking themselves at that last round. I wonder how they're going to set up for this. They still have people in Aviator Game Room, so I'd assume that they're running at least one player there. Should be PCD, maybe behind that bar.
Well, me and Mozzie combo should make it hard for them to drone him out, depending on how they set those up around Aviator. But I like the idea, and you've got Wag on the dock. Possibly play some long angles to help defend Trophy Statuary. I gotta imagine probably along with Hugzord. So you might have Lagonis and Hornets out, and maybe PZD playing towards the Aviator side. See if they can hold that for a while. So obviously they're not going to get a ton of intel themselves, but they will be denying a lot of droning in theory if they do the job right. And of course you're going to have Duds trying to spot some of those if he can, but he's actually more concerned about horizontal entry here from below.
You come into mud room and pressure from below. You can go up to Astronomy, and there's one player inside of that dining hall. There's the finisher. Duds will get Hornets out, make it a 5v4. Great early pick. You clear out from below, but now you have to take control of Astronomy, and it's a bit more difficult than what people imagine it to be, just because you have to have control of bathroom or somebody really helping you out when it comes to the Astronomy window. So if you watch for things correctly, you can definitely take control of that location, and from Astronomy you can ferry yourself down onto site, and if not, you can at least have some pretty huge angles to use.
I like that they also claymore the stairs for late rotates like that.
Oh, what?
Oh, the grenade self-kill. Or team kill, rather. But, wow. PZD just getting away with a literal murder there on 2 players. 2 important players as well who are working on the control from below. Now that control from below is somewhat lost, I think we're going to see Vitz try and take it back, but that just forces it to be 2 players trying to take the site against 3 upstairs here. This is going to be tricky to say the least for INTZ to pull this round off.
There's Habana dropping in, but there's one player inside a bedroom, and look at the angles that have been opened up through the wall here. I don't know if those are going to be enough, though, and they're going to be used against the Habana as Junks is tagged low on HP. I believe that's Hugzord there. He's going to be docked up and put back on close to full health.
Well, just trying to hold off as best he can so his teammates can do their job on their own. Doesn't stop enough of those arrows, unfortunately.
Only 2 of them actually remain, I think. I'm not sure if only 2 are destroyed or not, but Goyo's shield and all has been popped inside a bathroom, and VNX is waiting for the right moment. They're going to find 2 kills off of it somehow here, INTZ. They have control of Astronomy. 13 seconds left to go and plant right now. Pushing through Astronomy. The angles are close, being held by Lagonis, who's going to pull back and playing inside a trophy. There's another headshot from Lagonis. Goes in for the quick reload. Look at the Commando 9 doing work, and a third one for Lagonis. Clearing out INTZ. Too slow on the ingress. Black Dragons victorious.
Definitely a close one, though. That was almost doable by INTZ, but with a good push from the bedroom side, much better than their downstairs push. But at the end of the day, still goes to Black Dragons because they had the time advantage, forcing them to push into that. And just only so much you could do against a lot of those spots because the bomb sites are kind of split up like that as well. You've got to decide where you want to push. They didn't have the manpower to actually go for the plant, unfortunately. But we will now go down to dining. Of course, they could play Aviator games again, as that was just a very close win for attack last time. But this is what I said earlier about how important the pulse is. The Mute Mozzie as well is great for denying a lot, as well as bringing those extra C4s. I have to imagine Hugzord is likely going to switch over to C4 as well instead of impacts. But we'll see. They will definitely be able to play from below pretty effectively. Nope, look, Hugzord kept the impacts. Probably not the best idea when you can have a C4, but we'll see Hornetau also on barbed wire. So definitely going to be all about the downstairs defense, but we will likely have at least 1 roamer upstairs. The Mute Mozzie combo can definitely help with that, especially with Lagonis able to call out positions of players upstairs to help the roamers up there while playing downstairs relatively safe from a lot of positions.
10 seconds left before insertion.
Look at these rotation holes or like long angles that have been opened up from dining down into the art gallery. You can just play behind that reinforced wall.
Bomb and defuse.
I really like that position. And Hugzord and the rest of Black Dragons are going to actually set up on the top floor. Reinforcements, Goyo shields, the whole shebang. It really is to slow down, but as we saw in our last game on Villa, it's not just about slowing down, but it's knowing when to go back down onto site. And look at the amount of barricades that have been put up. It really just gives you a bit of an idea of how important barricades are. Very underrated. We talked about it before, but close there for a kill. Goyo's going to fall back and staying at the side of Statuary. And the IQ scanning about for all those cams. Nitro Cell that was already planted at the top of 90. Close to baiting Duds in, but he falls back. Very smartly played there. He knew what's up. And bedroom control still in the hands of Black Dragons, but it's being scouted by INTZ. But a 1-to-1 trade. Look at these tiny angles being used up. Gunplay being shown between the two teams. And the Goyo is still fighting strong. He's going to get pushed by the Zofia here for a moment. And he walks into Astronomy. Tagged on the side. And Vitz will go for a finisher, but not on the Goyo himself. They're trying to find the close angles. They're down on the floor. Hugzord is so low on HP. And drugs will pressure. Hugzord is now taken away. There's still one more inside of Trophy, right? Is he here? No, he dove out. Okay, so staying alive. Main story of the game here, but 4v2. Sure, you have a pulse, but that Jaeger's way too low for an engagement.
Yeah, honestly, they played maybe a little too heavy on that upstairs defense because look at what they got for it. 1 kill on Duds. Now, Duds is a useful operator, so don't get me wrong, it's a good kill, but all you got for those 3 deaths was 1 kill and a little bit of time burnt. They still have master bedroom control. They could still pressure from above. So you're not gaining as much as you would like. So overall, the defense just too top heavy. Obviously, they haven't lost the round yet. Hornetau looking to try and get a sneaky flank with some help from Lagonis, but it's going to be Lagonis all down by lonesome on site. If this can at least be traded, at least he takes down Alameo, and that's going to help with the bucking on the floor. But now we're just going to see some pressure horizontally here from Drunks, who opens up some of the wall with his X-Kairos. Also using the shield, actually, that they placed to his advantage right next to the mute jammer.
That's so smart. He's going in, but it wasn't actually. It's just more of a fake. He's going in for the engagement, and he's going to lose it against the Pulse. No, he won't. Pulse is down on the floor, and now you plant safely. There's a rotation through Laundry. 1 kill, but will be enough. Going back into the bike storage, and the plant will come down. Everybody's going to be watching you from above here with the 2 players left from INTZ. And they already dropped down. Drunk swings wide with the bearing 9 and finds the kill. Very well done by INTZ.
Yeah, again, unfortunately, just losing way too many people on the top floor ultimately cost them because they had so little defense left. I liked the flank attempt by the Jaeger. That was definitely good. Had that come without losing too many players early on, that would have been a lot more impactful, that's for sure. Just a little too spread out. That's the problem with playing that split kind of defense and having way too many people. Just set up for delay, really. If you can't escape back to site, really not worth it. We'll see Aviator Games again, though, now they go back here. Really want to play Dining, but, you know, they were trying to do something different. Appreciate it, but INTZ looking really good so far on this map. Now, it's to be expected INTZ to be doing pretty good, but the fact that they're doing as well as they are on attack, of course, given the bans, is nice to see, and they're not needing to bring Kali or anything else tricky. So, not even the Capitao. They're really just able to do a good job isolating players from Black Dragons, getting early man advantage, and then almost always turning that into a plant or near execute. So, this is good for them.
So, what will Black Dragons do for this one? They're bringing the same lineup every single round, aren't they?
It's working, though, to be fair, for the most part.
I mean, 2 rounds for INTZ on the attack is fine. We saw it in our last game at NIP MIBR that even getting 3 on the attack on Villa is pretty darn sweet. 2 is the minimum, but 3 usually puts you in an advantageous position once you head to the second half. So there's the IQ coming around from the front entrance, destroying all default cams, entering from the center. There you go. Go off that checklist. It's always like this. I know that some teams can get into a bit of a routine when you start talking about a checklist, but it has to be done. And once you get into the rhythm, then you can start, you know, spacing out and doing your own stuff during the round. And INTZ are definitely trying to stick to that checklist as much as they can.
Well, it's taken them a while. You see a lot of rotating around from duds. Unfortunately, this is not leading to those early picks we've been seeing for them in other rounds. They haven't even done any damage yet. Really just trying to figure this out to play from down below. But Hornetow to get duds early. That is a great early kill, as he'd been somewhat of an effective player overall. They are still trying to secure the downstairs. We've been seeing in these matches a lot of effort for downstairs because of the way the bans go down. They're not able to play as much horizontally upstairs, so they focus a lot on controlling this middle floor. They are concerned about rotates from below as well, but there isn't anyone down there, I don't think. Just the one player above on the staircase. A little pre-fire managed to at least keep him at bay. Drones going around to find out where the positions of these players are so they can execute. Alameo, though, does find the trade, the long trade, really, onto Hornetow finally on those stairs.
Some people might be asking, like, how important is Goyo? Why is he so strong? Well, you have shields that you can just sit behind. That, you know, you can bait people into using utility to destroy. Utility is very valuable here, Siege, for attackers. Grenade, there you go. It can do a lot of work. In this case, it doesn't hit the right spot. You could have used that to deal with the shield, though. And it's going to block your movement. It's going to block you from rotating correctly between different sides of the map. And it's going to allow the defenders to just sit behind it and do work against you, because like a mobile mirror window, it's crazy when you think about it. But those grenades were just thrown by the Buck with literally no information, and Drunks will be able to hit PZD there, but man, that took a second, and he loses his Skyros in the meantime. So is it the right trade? Not sure. Should be able to open up that wall and maybe cut off rotations from Aviator, but in Game Room and in Vault, there'll still be 3 plays to deal with. As for INTZ 4 to go against, and Hugsword is waiting. He sees the rappel. He knows there's still 1 player up. And if he can snipe the Nomad, this could be huge. There it is. Hugsword gets 1, turning the corner into the Habana, but only a bit of damage will be done. Still advantage for Black Dragons. Or for INTZ, sorry.
Well, classical hallway being retaken by WAG is going to really punish the defuse here. As this now dropped down outside the door. All he's got to do is play the smart. Easy
there it
win.
is. Lagon is holding the 1 angle necessary, even running the angle grip on the TCSG.
Wow. Well, I got to say, though, like, it's just The control from below is good for helping them get control of the stairs that they're then using to take control of the top of the stairs without having to spend utility to clear the shield. The problem is it's only giving them one end of classical hallway. They're not maintaining control of the other side. Maybe they need to send some people from bedroom instead of spending so many people downstairs, honestly. Because controlling 90, you saw what happened. It punished them twice. First from Hugzord on the Goyo, and then from the smoke immediately after. It's just... They lost 2 people doing that. It wasn't just 2 people. It was the diffuser as well in an attempted push, like in the middle of it, with very little time left. So in the future, they really need to work on that. But we may not see an aviator defense again. Depends on how things go down here. They will be going now to trophy for round 5. Only 1 defense left after this before the side switch. So I guess they won't be seeing another AB now that I think about it.
Yeah, but still, is it? I really think that INTZ messed up big time on it. Those grenades were cooked by the Buck trying to find kills, but it seems like every single time he's actually going down to pressure. There's no drone, no nothing telling him like, hey, this is the spot that you should go for. I know you're running Mossy and now the mute, but it's not something that we saw in every single round. And you can go around it in some locations. You can also tag those jammers. You saw that even though that there's some shields being put at the top of the stairs, and especially in maze stairs, they're not actually being manned all the time. So I think there's ways around it. But still, Black Dragons are able to capitalize on their advantages, which is just positioning in the last round. This is why Villa is so strong for the defenders. It's just usually the positions are so much easier for defenders to hold on to. You have an indestructible bar that you can just, sit behind and, sip on a drink and wait until everybody walks right into you.
Pests are at least doing their job slowing.
Oh, that was spotted. It was just set on the floor. That's like a lazy pest, I have to say.
Yeah. I mean, it slowed him down and forcing him to come in and actually shoot it, but it certainly didn't cost a ton of time. Angles being opened up, at least they're taking good control around, and they did actually switch. Oh no, why does it look like they're attacking dining the way they're going? I thought maybe they switched the last second again, but no, just they're attacking from below again. They're very, very focused on these below attacks. Hornet's out, getting a nice kill into Duds again. That's the second time in a row now he's been the opening kill. It's not great for them as a team. At least they still got their nades here. This looks like they want to focus very much on these nade kills upwards, and these just aren't landing. They're really going for spots here to get them out of these positions, but these aren't positions that defenders are playing.
No,
ultimately they need a pulse on attack.
Yeah, these are just grenades that are being used, but there's no call out for them. There's nothing that tells you, hey, you should go for it, other than, yeah, this is probably a location I would be playing in, which is not something you can always reliably use.
Well, time is burning down now. 2 minutes burned, and all they've done is lose 1 attacker and done a tiny bit of damage to Hugzord. So it's not looking great. They've got some angles here to work with, looking to see if they can get some intel from them. They do spot Goyo as well, so Hugzord's position is known, but there's not much they can do about that position. They will at least sneak into the bathroom here, clear out wire, start to drone, but this time being spent is just setting up for C4s. Nicely done, killing Vitz now that hopefully all had the air jabs set up.
There's the walk in from the Buck trying to pressure in from that landing area. And he can find 1 kill. He's going to give away his position, unfortunately. Alamo pressuring, and that's the perfect moment. PZD swings wide and finds a kill. The Habana trying to go for the gunfight there. He'll find 1, but Wog immediately trading on a VNX. So on the Habana, low HP, nitro cells thrown in your face. And Wog rounds the corner into those Exkyros holes. And that's the shot you're looking for. BD secure round 3 on their defense.
I gotta say though, the effort put down below is just not paying off enough into kills upstairs. I get what they're trying to go for and trying to go around a lot of these hard walls by trying to use vertical play. It's not doing enough for them. They really need to be able to be a lot more effective on the horizontal part where they're attacking upstairs. They need to bring more utility. Maybe they need to go with maybe even drop the Nomad and just bring Sledge just to get the extra nades because of all the utility they have to deal with. I mean, it's not like Womai's being brought necessarily to just try and soak all this up. So the extra grenades would have been pretty helpful here. But we'll see. Dining again. This is where they can just do a lot of top down. And again, maybe this would be helpful to have the sledge in case the buck dies early. So, I don't know. See, they at least, well, no, I was going to say at least have breach charges, but no, they didn't even bring breach charges for this. So this is really going to come down on Buck to do good work. They are going to have the pulse, of course, to help counter as well. We've seen in the past how effective Goyo could be shooting up through the floor with the TCSG, the amount of floor destruction it does, as well as how much damage it'll do to your foot when it goes through. So this is going to be tricky. A lot of shotguns that are going to be very effective here.
5 seconds left.
With a pulse. Nitro. How many nitros? 3 impacts. I'm kind of. What do you think they're bringing Hugsword with impact grenades instead of nitro?
I mean, that seems like a mistake. What are you really going to get out of those impact grenades? You're bringing so many shotguns as it is, and his TCSG can already do enough damage to set up rotations. Like, there's no point in bringing the impacts. They're not impact tricking anything, and if they are, it's probably not going to buy them a whole lot of time. I mean, yeah, I guess they're having to deal with occasional X-Kairos, but it's just, I don't know. Like, we saw him try and impact some X-Kairos before, and it didn't do a ton. Like, still, holes were opened up. It's just, I don't know. I think it's a mistake, just given how impactful C4s are on this site in particular.
Yeah, I really think it's not the right decision. And this one, and the Moz is going to get slapped around. VNX with a good shot. That's what you get for using a seasonal skin there. Oh, excuse me, the Jaeger. It didn't, see, that's the point. You don't know which is which in this case. Seasonal skins, why? Abana firing in, but she's going to be met with fire from Astronomy. And Zofia is just going to be watching for anybody walking up the stairs here in red. So, in the meantime, just wait and see what you can get. Is there anybody rushing into you? Are you going to be able to pop all those shields? Are you going to be wasting any nitro cells? You always have to watch for all of that. And at least drones are being used by INTZ to clear things in. One drone is slowed down for a moment, but Hugsword will find a kill on a VNX, and there's PZD, who swings wide and finds one, but duds on the refrag on a Hugsword. Goyo shield popped. It's a 3v3. There's still a health advantage for INTZ, but Black Dragons have all the nitros they need for this one. And the Nomad is looking to pressure from the side. The Fuser's out on a Astronomy window, though, so that's going to slow things down a bit here for INTZ, unless they can find the pick. Oh, good lord.
If only he knew what was on the other side. Obviously, for those who are new to Pro League, they cannot see the same outlines that we see. They can only see their teammates. He's going to cut off any kind of rotation out of that doorway, at least. Well, the important thing here is Duds is actually still alive now, which is good.
There's Alamau on one, finding Lagonis from above. That tough love controller really helping, and there's the air jab. Well done. Not sure if there's a way to rotate back into sight, but if you can find one kill on one player inside of the site, then you're set.
Oh, here we go.
And plant. Flash in, and the flash is even around the back. The mute swings. Wag will find Duds and turns into a 2v2. The shotgun will connect and will drop Fitz on the floor. PCD and Wag, last two alive, and they're rotated out of the site, trying to come back in now. Wag will go for the finisher on a Vitz, giving some information to the Buck, but he's going to get shot from the pantry. And PCD with a finisher. Black Dragons, what great communication and teamwork to bring this back. They sit between kitchen and pantry and rotate in between. Nomad felt a bit too safe there with those air jabs, but that was a mistake.
I mean, what really turned that round around was Wag's quick flick around onto Duds. Like, that should not have happened. He should have had that kill, but Wag just whipped around perfectly as he's taking damage and managed to get that kill and really helped save the round for the defenders, especially with the shotgun as well. After that, to be down one of the remaining players, leaving it down to 1v2. There's not much you could do in that situation at that point, but overall, not a bad round for INTZ. They just didn't win enough of those gunfights towards the end. And that's the problem, is just you spend so much time attacking upstairs that you end up running a little short on time for your push, and in this case a little short on manpower as well, as they'd lost a few going into that. We'll see side switch though, as INTZ now on the defense. They will start on Aviator Games. Black Dragons though in the driver's seat at 4-2 right now, so that's pretty good, given INTZ are the higher team at the moment points wise, I believe. So this is a fight for respect more than it is for the top two. Nothing special being brought on the defense or attack, really. There's the Mozzie, but not with necessarily a mute. However, they could be bringing the Kaid and are choosing not to. which is an interesting choice.
But are you surprised that it's 4-2 for the defense at the half? Black Dragons,
No, certainly not.
they got the rounds that were necessary, and even though there were some rounds that INTZ should have won 7 times over, it still worked Black Dragon's way. So it's just that inherent way of walking around the map. It ends up playing well for the defense. Even though, I have to say it again, INTZ committed some major crimes there in the way that they handled some of these rounds.
Yeah, we'll definitely see now that the side switched how differently Black Dragon's attacks go. They're not spending nearly as much time on the bottom floor, or the middle floor rather, as INTZ did, so that's a big difference right there. They're instead going to push from the back, something we probably should have seen from INTZ.
There's Nitrocell, it's gonna miss. Phoenix is gonna take a lot of damage in the meantime. One thing though, Black Dragons, oh, there's another one, and it actually hits PZD. Low on HP now, around 30, but one thing Black Dragons have done well so far is that they haven't lost many drones. They've only actually lost 2 of them actually. So keeping that drone economy, we won't always be talking about it, but we highly recommend that you keep tabs on those drones on your screen. If it's an X, it means that it's destroyed. If it's white, it means that it's deployed. If it's gray, it's in your back pocket. So now you see there's more of them being taken away. It makes it a total 3. 90 control, though, has been established and default cam is out. Drone will confirm the locations, and you're already setting post-plant position drones. These are just to cover your flanks. And so far, so good on the checklist for Black Dragons.
Getting it done with still a minute left to go. However, no kills for either side is the big thing here. Is if this continues, we could see a last-minute push kind of rush in. And smokes obviously will help with that, especially with PZD being on low health. But they're trying to get these gunfights going, and it looks like they're at least pressuring from the back here, trying to make a go of it here. If they can clear out enough utility, flashbangs going in to clear ADS as well, as there's hopefully still some grenades left in PZD's pocket.
There's more utility being dumped into the site. And Habana's watching. This is the first time we see an attack from the landing area, because every time it was a push from the office, from the study, and through 90. And this is what makes so much more sense. Always take from the opposite end of the map, especially when you're facing a Thatcher Maverick ban. Log will find 1 kill on a duds. Drunks is already on the floor. Is the smoke there, and he should get cleared out at any point. There it is. Hornetal with a finisher. Walk into sight. Get the kills. Fitz, though, is fighting. He's going to get attacked from behind. Late flank from the IQ is working well, but where's your diffuser? It's already been set. You lost 1 player, but does it even matter? Alaba will have to walk on up through the red stairs. He's being tagged and spotted, and Hill's gonna find a kill, but what cost? Probably the entire round of the 2K there. No nitro cell. Only your gun to go through all of this. You know exactly where he's gonna be coming from. Fighting down in 90, pushing down into Aviator. You're checking every single corner, man. There's nothing you can do against this. He knows it. Even still has one of those pests in his back pocket. Going for the gunfight, collect the kills just in case. But the IQ is ducking and dodging and weaving. And from behind, oh, it's WAG for the finisher at a 5-round play here. Scoreboard for Black Dragons all over the place. 5-2.
All over the place pretty much describes the last 30 seconds of that match there. It definitely came down to the wire and just flurry of back and forths, but at the end of the day, a better, I think, overall attack than INTZ was having on that site. Just attacking from the other side, from taking the master bedroom, pushing your way up to the doorway, and pushing from that side definitely seems a lot more effective than just trapping yourself in the study and focusing on controlling 90 from the top of the stairs side. It just... Overall, that was more effective. Plus, it offered flexibility for other players to push around from the other side while they were distracted. So I think that's the better take. Whether or not we'll see that again, it's hard to say. It just depends on whether INTZ can win the next couple defenses, and they'll be forced back to that or not. They're going to try Trophy Statuary in the meantime, though. Given they didn't have the success on Aviator, they didn't want to try and just adjust immediately. But they're still going to play players in there. As you can see, Vitz setting up some shields. They are going to have the Wamai this time to try and help keep those shields alive. And of course, 1 extra shield in the process. And then barbed wire. We're going to see again a Goya with impacts could possibly just be used to deny any kind of angles being opened up with the X-Kairos again. But C4 has been so much more effective, especially for Latin America in general, that it always feels weird that unless you need to impact trick, bringing those instead of C4. I mean, you could go to impact trick here on the wall between statuary and master bedroom. So I hope that's what he's bringing them for. Drunk's doing a nice job
Black Dragons. Yeah, he's putting up the numbers 10-5. Is it mattering in the end?
True.
That's the question. It's all about that W at the end of the day. And you're bringing the Wamai, you're bringing the Goyo. You don't have a Mozzie, but that's fair enough. Still bringing the Meme. That's a lot of firepower for INTZ. They have what it takes to burn things out. They're playing the quote-unquote current metagame. But there's also grenades, there's charges, Ash for the Ash. There's, incidentally, no Zofia being played here, which is weird. But it just means that Black Dragons want to be way more active and agile. So I guess that's the play around it.
I mean, we'll see if that pays off. They were hoping to drone for the buck to allow him to get the kill from below as they'd spotted the player. The player didn't rotate back to the hole again, and that was obviously the problem there. He was hoping to capitalize on that bit of information that the drone could get. Fortunately, drone can't see through floors, so no more. Doing a little bit of a job here in denying some droning of the master bedroom side. They are looking to take from there yet again. Remember when it used to be always attacking from the master bedroom? It was kind of the thing. It's not as much anymore.
Yeah,
but
and then people realize
Dragons.
People realize that you can also take from the other side of the map. It's weird because Black Dragons actually took from the other side of the map on the last round, taking in from bedroom, just pressuring into the study. So I don't know why they're not doing it here too, but I assume that they'll be sending someone at some point. Wag will take a tiny bit of damage there, and not even anything actually in the engagement in the astronomy window. But you're just waiting to dive in. You can tell when Lagunas gets really close to that window, you see that there's a mute jammer kind of notification down below that blocks him out. So no drones can just be run in through that window and down into the bathroom. But now you can. You have control of bedroom. There's shields around you, but they're not Goyo shields, and you can't tell what those shields are until you're actually, you know, there and baited in. Dud's gonna find the kill. PZD. There's no drone in front of him to give him the information, and more damage done to Hugsor. This is gonna get a bit tough to deal with. And there's one more kill for Drunks. Two for Drunks. He's collecting him, and what do? You go and push right into him. You try to collect the kill, and Wag will be successful, but Alamau immediately turns around, leaving Lagunas alive. And what's the problem here that you talked about in the beginning?
If Drunks' kills were going to be important, and they certainly were that round. His astronomy play phenomenal in terms of stopping them and getting picks. There's 3 people pressuring him, but also thanks to that Y disc, my disc. But yeah, astronomy, as you said, not as easy to take as you think. Definitely became a huge problem for them on that attack.
Devin.
That's me.
Let's be honest. Devin Von Devin. I was playing the game and I found that moment and it is hilarious. I immediately thought of you. I haven't screenshotted so someone can edit your face on it, but
what game?
That aside, Watch Dogs 2.
Oh, okay.
Devin Von Devin. It's an actor. But what was the big problem there? You were talking about it for just a moment there, saying, "Oh, you know, they're taking from bedroom." Remember when the strategy was only taking from bedroom? Like, yeah, I do. Why are they doing this? They did the opposite usually, last round.
You're used to seeing a player, when you focus that much attention on astronomy like that, you want to have someone come up those stairs, the astronomy stairs from below, to pressure from the side as well, but they didn't do that. They just all stacked up on the window and the door. We'll see how things go for Aviator the second time around, though. Did get one last time by Black Dragons, but now INTZ could be bringing it back. However, they are at such a deficit point-wise, it's very likely Black Dragons are able to inch this out first. But that being said, you know, this is technically defender favored right now.
So there's the extension into bedroom, and VNX is doing something. Yeah, there he is back. So some nitro cells can be used, but It's only 2 of them. You're running a lot of barbed wire in this case, and impact. I'm not sure how good impact tricks though are against Habana. Usually they're not so great because you just use the X-Kairos at the bottom of a wall instead of in the middle of it. And then the explosion radius is just, you know, it's out of reach. There's one for Hugsworth. It's to open.
Oh.
The refrag, always so important. One rotating out of living room, and there's no drone to confirm it. Unfortunately, you can't see those walls. You can't see through those walls, excuse me. And unfortunate for PCD is he won't be able to follow up. But at least you've taken down Almao. I'm not sure how much Hugsworth has been able to do to deal with those Valkyrie Black Eyes. But if you've done any work against them, it'll definitely be helpful here. How are the players spaced out from INTZ? We saw a couple of them actually rotating into piano. At least one of them that was playing by piano can rotate up the red stairs. And if you take the study, you can start making your way down into sight, especially since there's nothing to deny that wall. You know, you only have impact grenades, and that's a strategy from INTZ. No need for no need for, you know, anything else like a bandit or a mute. PCD will find underdeaths from below, and Hornet Tau swings wide in a 90 to find Vitz Black Dragons. Very active here, so Nitro Cell will be thrown and will not connect. Force alive here for Black Dragons, and you can tell there's Habana doing work. Bit of damage done to Drunks there with a grenade, but it's all pre-placed. There's no information to really guide those grenades home.
Marvel's attack, I like Black Dragon's attack quite a bit more than INTZ's. This is looking a lot more effective, especially the kills that have been made so far. Getting the Mozzie and the Goyo out, great starts. There's no Wamai to really stop a whole lot of throwables or anything like that. They may even still have grenades left. They definitely have flashbangs left. Great kill from Lagonis as well, and a Drunks now. Very much looking like a Black Dragons round, especially as Lagonis is now set up for a plant.
So they're going in for it. He's so close to getting it down, and it will be set. Nothing to fight back, but Hornet Tau will be dropped on the floor. It doesn't matter. You just swing wide into that gun vault, and Wog will find the last kill of the air. Black Dragons on map and match point. By the way, for people that have been asking, maybe there's a lot of new people in the chat, and we would like to welcome you to Pro League. But if you're curious as to how the point system works, it's best of 1. So there is a tie, there's no overtime, which means that if you win, you have to win at a maximum of 7-5, and you go with 3 points at the end of the play day. If you tie, it's a 6-6, and each team gets 1 point. So keep that in mind as we will be taking a look at the standings come the end of today's play.
Yeah, those 1 points definitely make a difference as well, but we also will be talking about tiebreakers probably at the end in terms of how we sort those out, because it's a little bit different than what might be immediately obvious. However, that being said, Black Dragons looking like they're very likely to get the 3 the way things are going, and I don't know, this is probably around here very possible for INTZ, just based on how we've seen this particular site played very effectively so far today. But that being said, a 7-4 is not that big a deal for Black Dragons to pull off. Their attacks have just been very effective at shutting down a lot of the INTZ defenders who just seem to be getting caught off guard a lot. They're not really doing a ton to deny intel. They're not doing a lot of mute Mozzie combos, just one or the other a lot of times. They're also just getting caught by a lot of good flanks and actual entries that are working, whereas they're not, Black Dragons aren't losing a ton of people on entry the way INTZ sometimes were. See how it goes this round though. Like I said, this is a more difficult site to attack, at least today it has been, because you don't gain as much advantage from the attacker ban, or the attacker bans.
So yeah, you're talking about the attacker bans. Thatcher and Maverick are banned. You can see them up above. Mira and Echo having them on play, especially as a lot of people say like, oh, so why do people keep banning Mira all the time? Is she like a one-click, button to win? No, she's not. She's very strong, but I don't know if she's always really worth banning, especially in this case, though. Because of that Thatcher ban, it will make it way more difficult to play around when you also have to deal with Amira on the other side. Defense is usually built around her when she's in play. That's it. Vitz will take a bit of damage in exchange a bit with PZD, as a lot of drones have been lost here with Black Dragons. Oh, the grenade. More damage done to PCD. A walk into the mudroom, but there's already goo mines that were set in Hornetau. Beautifully done there. Just ready for the headshot. And clearing out. You see the cameras that are posted all around and more air jabs being set up by the Nomad. Her first one actually... Oh, watch your fire. Drunks will get another one as well with a TK. But PCD finishing at long distance with the skeleton key. Not sure what's going on right now, but it actually is a 3v3. Alamau will get one kill. Close to the rotation, maybe. And there's the Valkyrie being shot to bits. Nitro self-thrown and will not find anyone. You know there's a player on the opposite end of this. Lagonitz will find one kill. And it's only Drunks left alive. They know it's right behind here in the China room. Nitro cell will be thrown out and will not connect. And around the corner in kitchen, there's the IQ already ready for you. Trying to find the head. Detonate. You can't hit. The diffuser's not being set, and as it will go for it, Hugzord will trade. He's down, but Drunks is dead. Black Dragons victorious today, 7-3.
Well, at the end of the day, Black Dragons showing, at least on Villa, they're definitely the better team. And that's definitely going to help with 3 points versus 1. Again, it's not going to take them to the top 2, but it's certainly going to help them climb up there a little bit. We'll see where they stand in terms of relation to INTZ, but Drunks definitely putting in the effort today. Unfortunately, it wasn't quite